Hi, it's Steve from Parts Select. Is it time to give your range a facelift? Maybe you're selling your home and you don't want to replace it, or you've done a home reno and it's not in the budget to replace your range, but it still looks a little bit tired? Well, we'll show you a few easy tips on how you can spruce up that range and make it look almost new. Well, first of all, look at some of the plastic components such as the knobs, the handle, the top vent on the door. If these items are discolored, we may need to replace them. If they're simply just dirty, we'll remove them and clean them. The knobs simply will pull right off. These ones don't look in too bad a shape, so we're simply going to let them soak in a cleaning solution, and then we'll scrub them up and put them back on. So next we'll go ahead and clean the backsplash area. Use your favorite cleanser. Just be sure that it's safe to use on painted surfaces or plastic surfaces. Now when cleaning the surface of that electronic control, it's probably best that you spray your cleaner on the sponge or cloth that you're using so that we don't create too much liquid. Now we got that looking pretty good, so we'll just give it a final polish. So next we'll look at the cooktop itself. We'll begin by removing the elements and the drip bowls and give those a good inspection to see what needs to be just cleaned and what needs to be replaced. The element looks a little bit tired. That center disc is pretty much destroyed. Let's have a look at the drip bowl. You may be able to clean these up, but when we look around the edges, we see that porcelain is chipped pretty badly, so chances are we're going to need to replace that unit. Now, if your drip bowls weren't in this bad a shape, you may opt to just soak those in a good cleanser, clean them up, and see what they look like, and maybe be able to reuse them. Again, with the elements, if you're able to clean them up and they're not damaged to the point where they're no longer safe to use, you can go ahead and reuse those as well. In this case, I think we're going to replace all of these. Now that we have the elements and bowls removed from our main top, we're going to go ahead and put some spray cleaner on that, allow that to soak in. Now, since we're going to be concentrating on the top of the range, the backsplash, the knobs, and the door components, we decided we might as well let the oven clean itself in the meantime. So we've chosen just a regular spray-on type foam oven cleaner. We'll spray that in there and let that do the work while we continue with our own. While that's happening, we'll remove the oven door and we'll have a look at what we can do to fix that up. Now, to remove the oven door from your range, either consult the user manual for that or check one of our repair videos to see the proper procedure for removing that door. Well, now that we have the door out on a suitable surface where we can examine it a little more closely, first of all, we'll note the metal trim piece across the bottom. It also holds the glass in place and provides a nice colored trim on the bottom. And this particular one showing some severe signs of rust, so you can either choose to remove that, try to sand it down and repaint it, or simply replace it, which is probably the better of the two options. Next, we need to pull that off of that glass. You may find that on there quite snug, so use caution. Well, it looks like we're going to be replacing this anyways because it's in really bad shape. So next we're going to remove that glass where it is attached to the upper vent, and we'll take that and set that carefully aside, and then we'll clean that up later. Now next we're going to take these two side trim pieces off and we'll attempt to clean those up, and if we're unsuccessful we'll just replace them. In the meantime, we're going to go ahead and remove that vent and handle assembly to see what we can do with those. Typically those are just held in place with screws. So now we're just going to put some of our favorite cleaner on there, see if we can remove those stains, and then we'll have a look at it then. Now while we're allowing that vent and handle to soak with cleaner on it, we might as well go ahead and clean up the inner door panel on this, see if we can spruce those up a bit too. If we've had any heavy buildup on that door glass, we'll use our razor scraper to remove that first. Now that we've cleaned one side of that glass, we flip the oven door over and we'll clean the opposite side. Typically you don't get too much stains in here because it's on the inside of the door, however it does happen. Now once we've got that glass looking nice and clean, let's go ahead and remove that oven door and we'll look at the outer door glass. Now as we go to clean the outer door glass, you notice that we had a lot of rust on the bottom of that trim piece, so we're going to go ahead and use a little more aggressive cleaner on that first, and then once that's cleaned off, we'll go ahead and just clean it with our regular glass cleaner to finish it off. Now we were fortunate that our vent and handle assembly came out nice and clean, If you don't have that success, again, you can simply replace either of those two pieces. So we'll begin to reassemble the door, and then we'll reinstall the outer door glass and the two side trim pieces. Now, once we have those properly positioned, we're ready to put the bottom trim piece on. Make sure that we capture the glass with those two clips. Now that we have that door back together, our next step will be to clean the exterior of that outer door glass, and the door will be ready to put back on the oven. There, now that we have the door completely cleaned and ready to put back on, we'll go back to the range and finish cleaning up the top. Now, before we put the oven door back on, we'll finish cleaning up the oven itself. The oven cleaner seems to have done a pretty good job. We'll need to reinstall our racks. If they've come out nice and clean, fine. If you've had to replace them, either way, we'll simply put them back into the oven, and then we'll put the door on. There, now that we've given that top a nice clean shine, let's go ahead and put some bowls and elements in. So all that remains to do now is replace the knobs that we took off in the first place. We were able to get these all clean, but again, if you were unsuccessful in that, you simply need to purchase new ones. And there we have it, a nice, clean, shiny, new looking range. Thank you so much for watching. We hope this video was helpful to you in getting your range to look nice and new like this one. For more videos on appliance repair, cleaning, and maintenance tips, be sure to visit our website. And hey, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss a thing.